Welcome back, dear traders. Here is a red-hot market review by InstaForex analysts. Following the non-farm payrolls for July, investors again shifted focus away from a recession to the hawkish Fed. The benchmark stock indexes did not make any dramatic changes and closed mixed on a Friday. The Dow Jones closed the volatile session on a Friday 0.23% up. The Nasdaq shed 0.5% and the S&P 500 inched down 0.17% to close at 4,145 points. Wall Street is poised to open a new trading week on an optimistic note. All three indexes traded higher in the New York pre-market. The S&P 500 is expected to trade in the corridor between 4,120 and 4,210 today. Investors dispelled fears of a slowdown in the U.S. economic output on a Friday because both the U.S. employment growth and wage growth surpassed market expectations. On a Friday, the Labor Department reported that the U.S. economy added 528,000 jobs in July, twice more than the consensus. Such a robust hiring revived investors' faith in the resilience of the U.S. economy, which has recovered in full jobs lost during the COVID pandemic. On the one hand, it's good news that downplays recession fears. On the other hand, investors abandon hopes that the U.S. Fed will hardly make a pause in its aggressive monetary tightening. Following the upbeat non-farm payrolls, Fed fund futures on the rate hike of 75 basis points in September spiked from 41% to 70%. The US CPI data, which is due on Wednesday, could be another cornerstone for the Federal Reserve's next policy move. Indeed, the US Fed pointed out that it gives priority to the struggle against inflation. As for corporate reports, Nvidia said on Monday that it expects a 19% decline in its revenue in the second quarter. As a result, shares of the microchips developer plunged by almost 7% in the pre-market. The company reported that preliminary revenue from video games amounted to $2 billion, 44% down from the same quarter a year ago. The US dollar certainly perked up amid fresh evidence of the US economic strength. Its index has regained more than 1%, and today the index slipped 0.3% to trade at 106.30. It has halted its rally after the US non-farm payrolls. The intraday corridor for the US dollar index is seen between 105.90 and 106.80. All in all, investors again share their bullish outlook on the greenback. Michelle Bowman, a member of the Board of Governors, stated on Saturday that she would vote for the rate hike by 0.75%. She believes that the Fed should go ahead at the same pace until inflation firmly goes down. And in this context, the CPI for July will matter a lot for the market. The strong greenback pushed the USD CAD pair up to 1.2900 on a Friday. Nevertheless, the loonie is asserting its strength today. The currency pair is trading at about 1.2850, inside the corridor between 1.2790 and 1.2880. Unlike the United States, the Canadian economy has been losing jobs for 2 months straight. On the plus side, the jobless rate declined to a record low of 4.9%. Besides, the indicator of major importance to the Bank of Canada, average hourly earnings of permanent employees rose to 5.4% in July in annual terms from a 5.6% increase in June. The reading is way above 2.4% at the beginning of the year, and the regulator is widely expected to continue its cycle of aggressive monetary tightening until the year end. Fundamentally, the loonie is wound down by a steady fall in oil prices, so the advance of the Canadian dollar today is caused by temporary softness in the greenback, while the stock and currency markets are in suspense ahead of the US inflation data. The crypto market is overwhelmed by risk appetite. Bitcoin is 4.42% up overnight to trade at 24,194 points. Ethereum has spiked 5.17% to 1,800. Interestingly, the fundamental background is not rosy for the crypto market. Hedinode, a Singapore-based crypto lender, said on Monday that it has suspended withdrawals, token swaps, and deposits. Another crypto lender, Voyager Digital, announced that it would recover access to cash deposits in the US dollars. India's watchdog reported on Friday that it froze assets of USDX related to the world's largest crypto platform Binance under the investigation into the alleged violation of crypto investment rules. Remarkably, Bitcoin and other popular tokens are gaining ground rapidly today. If the flagship crypto can overcome the level of $24,600, it will head for the peak of $25,000. Otherwise, the price might tumble to $23,500. Let me warn you that market optimism can be misleading, so make well-rounded decisions before the market entry. Trade with gains and see you online tomorrow.